I wanted to show you this Hoya loharii and check on the roots because this is one of the few Hoyas that I grow with a net pot inside of a cache pot. So this plant is doing really well. When I originally got it, it was probably a cutting about that long, and chopped it and rerooted a couple times, so it's doing really well. It's got several stems up here and it's generally growing. So I put it in a net pot just because that's what I had available at the time. I don't prefer to use net pots. I like using these ceramic pots that just have a drainage hole in the bottom. But let's pull this out and I'm going to show you what the roots look like. So there are the roots growing through the bottom, and then in here there's just a very small amount of water. I don't manage this closely at all. I don't pull the pot out and check to see how much water is in the bottom. When I'm watering the rest of the plants and I just splash some water in the pot, I'll just go ahead and water this one too without even looking at what's inside of this pot. And there's some pros and cons to that. It's easier that way. Let's see if I can focus. If you look closely, there are some roots that have gone a bit mushy in the bottom, probably because this has been sitting with the same water in the bottom for too long. Some of those roots you can see at the end are white and fuzzy and growing and are healthy, but some of them, when you tug on the end, they just pull off and they're mushy. So it's not a huge deal because it's just the very tips of some of the roots that are sitting in the water down there. And I can just, since I've looked at this and I can see that that's happening, I can just make sure to let this dry out for longer periods of time because there's still humidity within the pot. There doesn't need to be water sitting in the bottom of the pot all the time. I do fertilize this about every 2 or 3 times that I water now. I don't know. Since the plants are not growing as fast, I'm fertilizing less, but I use General Hydroponics Flora Series, and I just mix that up at the dilution on the back of the bottle for mild vegetative. So just follow the directions on the bottle if you get that. And just watch your plant closely. I get tons of questions about watering and how frequently I think you should water. And really, I think you should just pay close attention to how your plant is doing. And if it looks good, like this one, doesn't show any signs of issues, then you're probably doing okay. The tricky part about Hoyas is that they will look fine for a really long time. It takes them a long time to complain about their conditions, unless it's overwatering or something. But yeah, I hope that you could glean something helpful from this. And if you've looked back in my feed, this is the polyneuria that I chopped. It's already got 2 new growth points. I had to use the tissue because the growth point tried to grow down into the leca, so one of the leaves is probably going to be slightly deformed. But yeah, it's already, I think that was a month ago that I chopped that, and 2 new growth points already, so that one's doing well. And I need to do a video on my new Mills bow cabinet because I do like it. I don't supply any humidity inside of it. I just water the plants every once in a while, and you can see here it's about 66% humidity. It's kind of low. Right after I water the plants for a couple days, it will be like 75 to 80, which I think that's just fine without adding any fancy humidity and fans in there. I think I'm just gonna leave it simple the way it is. But all right, thanks for watching this.